If you're watching this video and want to learn how to improve your 5-mile time in 5 weeks, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide and free program on how to do exactly that. In this video, I will be sharing the 4 essential elements of a great runner, the final of which leads to quadruple your odds of getting selected. Second, I'll dive into how modulating your breathing can improve your pacing and confidence. This is particularly valuable for any non-runners. Third, I will share a free program which you can use to run a faster 5-mile in just 5 weeks. And then lastly, I will walk through 5-mile goal pace strategy, so you finish fast and never gas out again. But first, let's talk about the physical characteristics of a great runner. First is aerobic conditioning. Your aerobic capacity refers to how efficiently your body can perform low-intensity, steady-state cardio for long periods of time. A practical example is this. If initially you run 10-minute miles at a Zone 2 pace, with several months of training your aerobic capacity, you could cover the same distance at the same heart rate with a 9-minute mile pace. By developing your aerobic capacity, you're able to raise the floor of your running performance. Second is your VO2 max. While aerobic capacity raises the floor of your performance, VO2 max raises the ceiling by increasing your max capacity for oxygen utilization. What this means in practical terms is that you can perform at a higher intensity for longer periods of time before muscle fatigue and exhaustion sets in. This is critical for your hard mid-distance 2 and 5-mile runs. Third is max speed. While in selection you're never going to have a timed 100-meter sprint, you'll still want to be faster over shorter distances. Max speed sharpens your peak in terms of running by giving you a more powerful, efficient running form, and also gives you more kick at the end of your runs. I personally like to keep 200-meter intervals and strides in the mix every once in a while to ensure athletes can continue to practice moving at faster speeds. What many candidates overlook in terms of running is the critical role that body composition plays. For every pound that you gain, you can expect to add 2 seconds to your mile time. What that means is that if you're carrying extra fat, it is literally weighing you down. But body composition is a delicate balance when it comes to training for selection. While lower body weight will certainly improve your run time, increased levels of muscle mass are also highly predictive of SFAS success. We know this from data collected from 795 candidates at SFAS between 2015 and 2017. They measured physical performance, body composition, and all sorts of other metrics. If you want a full video diving into this data, let me know in the comments. Of all the body composition and anthropometric data, it was found that muscle mass was the greatest predictor of SFAS success, and low fat percentage was the second greatest predictor. In fact, low body fat percentage was correlated with improved performance in all physical metrics. Clearly, you want to have low body fat percentage. But how lean were the candidates, and how significant were the differences? Candidates with 25.2% body fat had a 13.8 selection rate. Candidates with 20.1% body fat had a 28.6% selection rate. Candidates with 17.3% body fat had a 41.4 selection rate. Candidates with a 14.2% body fat had a 51.6% selection rate. So, being in the leanest quartile of candidates quadruples your odds of getting selected compared to the fattest group. But let's say you're at 16 to 17% and performing well. Should you consider dieting? I would say no. Since you're already performing well and you're able to train and make progress, continue what you're doing. Eat to maintain your current weight. Everyone isn't built to operate at 100% at lower levels of body fat, so just because the data shows on average candidates perform worse at higher levels, you could perform best at 18 or 20%. Now that we know the exercise science around running performance and body composition, let's talk about an often overlooked aspect of running. For those of you who didn't start running from an early age, improving your breathing with consistent, reliable breaths is one of the quickest ways that you can improve your running performance. Most people who are new to running, or even those who have been running for years, breathe inconsistently. They'll unintentionally hold their breath, have extended exhales, and be unreliable in terms of cadence when they inhale and exhale. When you do this, your body will instinctively go into a self-preservation mode, and the run is going to be more challenging. The athletes with the most consistent breathing are swimmers. Go to any swim meet and you'll see swimmers breathing every second or third stroke. If you can mimic that cadence with regular breathing patterns in running, you can not only significantly improve your performance, but you can also give yourself a way to gauge your current exertion levels and never gas out early while running. Let's say you know you're in Zone 2 if you can sustain a single inhale every 5 steps. Naturally, as you speed up, you'll need to breathe more frequently. When you're at an inhale every 3 steps, you'll know you're around Zone 3. Once you're breathing every step, you're hyperventilating, and that is not sustainable for more than a short burst or sprint. The point is this: if you're hyperventilating or having to breathe every second step early in your 5-mile run, you are going way too fast. The only time you should be is towards the end of your run. And knowing how your heart rate or effort relates to your breathing cadence should be a massive confidence boost for any runner. So how do you actually learn how to take advantage of this? After I walk you through the 5-week plan to improve your 5-mile time, check out the link in the description to a video taught by Chris Hinshaw, who is a former professional triathlete and coach of CrossFit athletes, including 5-time champion Matt Fraser. But before diving into the 5-mile training program, I also have to caveat that the training advice I'll be sharing from this point forward is for a healthy candidate with no injuries who has developed a robust aerobic base and has been running at least 15 miles per week for the last several months. With that out of the way, here is week 1. Since this is a 5-week plan, we are wasting no time to jump right into the intense training. On Monday, you have 10 400-meter intervals at RPE 9. I want you to do these at about your 2-mile max effort pace. The goal is to keep these 400s as consistent as possible. Even though you have only 1 minute of rest, I want you to minimize the drop-off between round 1 and round 10. On Wednesday, we have a tempo run with 2 miles at your previous best 5-mile pace. On Thursday, you have the option of 45 minutes of Zone 2 running or Zone 2 non-impact cardio. I recommend that unless you're an advanced runner, you put in some time on the bike or on the rower. And then we close out the week with a slow Zone 2 run with strides. In week 2, we build on the previous week, starting with 8 600-meter intervals with 2 minutes of rest. Again, don't come out too fast on your 600s. The goal is to be consistent here. Wednesday is about learning your goal pace through mile repeats. Be conservative here and make it a bit faster than your last 5-mile time. On Thursday, again, we do some easy jogging and non-impact work, and we'll close out the week with a Zone 2 run with strides. Week 3 may be the most challenging of all 5, since we have 3 hard sessions in total, and the fatigue starts to accumulate. Monday kicks off with 4 hard 800-meter intervals with 2 minutes of rest. And then on Wednesday, we build on the previous week session by adding a 4th hard mile effort. On Thursday, we're dropping down the Zone 2 work to just 20 minutes. And then on Saturday, we have a Zone 2 run with a middle 2 miles at your previous 5-mile pace. In week 4, we come back with 5,000-meter intervals. And then on Wednesday, we're coming back and hitting 5 miles at your previous 5-mile time. The expectation is this run is challenging. You're going to be carrying a lot of fatigue. If you can hit your previous 5-mile best, this is a fantastic sign. On Thursday, you have the option of doing 20 minutes of non-impact cardio. And then Saturday, you have an easy Zone 2 run to shake out your legs. Week 5 is peak week. On Monday, you get to enjoy a 20-minute recovery run. On Wednesday, you're getting your legs back with a few miles at goal pace. And then you'll come back on Saturday and crush your 5-mile timed run. I'm working on formatting this plan into a Google Sheet that you can plug your 5-mile time into, and it'll spit out the goal paces. So if you want access to that when it's ready, you can go to softprepcoach.com/subscribe. It's 100% free, and it'll grant you access to the Google Sheet once it's ready. Before we close the video, I want to provide you with some advice on your 5-mile timed run for when you retest. Rather than coming out with an aggressive pace, I want you to run the first 2.5 miles at your previous 5-mile pace. Going into your 3rd mile, if you've been practicing the breathing techniques from this video and the one linked in the description, you should have a good gauge of how much gas is left in the tank. Since you've just finished this training plan, I expect you'll be running progressively faster in mile 3 and then mile 4. And by the time you start mile 5, it should be and will be brutal. Your body is going to give you every reason to slow down. You need to push through those thoughts. At that point, it's just a few more minutes of effort. If you use that strategy, you won't ever gas out again. Between this video and my How to Get Selected series, you have everything you need to get selected. Your next step is to take action and to get serious about your training. I look forward to seeing your progress in the comment section. Thanks for watching.